When you open your eyes in the morning, there is a small space of time that most people never notice. It is the moment before the world reaches you, before your phone lights up, before someone needs something from you, before your mind starts replaying yesterday. This moment is quiet, and in this quiet, you are free. You are not yet a worker, not yet a student, not yet a problem solver, not yet someone trying to please others. You are just you. This is the moment where real power lives, because once the day begins, the world will start telling you what to worry about. It will tell you what you should be faster at, what you should be better at, what you should already have by now. But before all of that noise enters your mind, you get to speak first. And what you say to yourself in this moment becomes the tone of your whole day. So you remind yourself, gently and clearly, I choose how I show up today. You may not control everything that happens. You may not control how people act. You may not control every outcome, but you can always control how you meet the day. You can choose to move with calm instead of rush, with focus instead of fear, with purpose instead of pressure. You don't have to be perfect today. You don't have to impress anyone. You don't have to prove your worth. You only have to be present. When the world pulls at you from different directions, you remember this simple truth. I am not here to run in every direction. I am here to walk my own path. Some days will feel heavy. Some days will feel slow. Some days will feel unclear. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are human. And even on those days, you still get to choose how you speak to yourself. Instead of saying, I'm not enough, you say, I am learning. Instead of saying, I'm behind, you say, I am moving at my own pace. Instead of saying, I can't do this, you say, I will take one small step. This is how you lead yourself. Not with pressure, not with harsh words, but with steady guidance. Think of your mind like a room you walk into every morning. You decide what kind of voice lives there. Is it a voice that rushes you? A voice that judges you? A voice that reminds you of everything you didn't finish? Or is it a voice that says, you're here. Let's begin. Today, you choose the second voice. You choose to move through your day like someone who belongs in their own life. When something goes wrong, you pause instead of panic. When something feels hard, you breathe instead of break. When something feels uncertain, you stay instead of run. You don't need all the answers to take the next step. You only need enough courage to keep moving. And that courage grows every time you remind yourself that you are not a reaction. You are not just responding to what life throws at you. You are shaping how life feels to you. There will be moments today when someone speaks in a way that tests your patience. Moments when plans change. Moments when things don't go the way you expected. In those moments, you come back to this decision. I choose who I become in this moment. You can choose to stay calm. You can choose to stay kind. You can choose to stay steady, not because it is easy, but because it is powerful. Leading yourself means you don't let one bad moment become a bad day. You don't let one mistake become a story about who you are. You see each moment as a new chance to begin again. As you move through today, carry this simple picture in your mind. You are walking, not being pushed. You are choosing, not being dragged. You are directing, not drifting. Every small choice you make adds up. The way you speak, the way you listen, the way you treat yourself when no one else is watching. This is where your real life is built. Not in big, dramatic moments, but in quiet decisions that happen inside you. And tonight, when the day ends and everything becomes quiet again, you will look back and realize something important. You didn't just survive the day, you shaped it. Not by being perfect, not by being fearless, but by being present. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes again, remember this lesson. Before the world gets a say, you speak first. And what you say is simple. I am not a reaction. I am a choice. I lead myself. Lesson 2. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience. Say this slowly inside yourself. Everything I have lived through stands behind me. Every hard day, every late night, every moment I thought I was not strong enough. It is all still here, not as weight, but as wisdom. When you wake up this morning, you are not a blank page. You are a story that has already been written in many chapters. Some of those chapters were happy, some were painful, some were confusing, but every single one of them taught you something about who you are. You may feel like today is just another day, like you are starting again, like you are trying to catch up, but the truth is, you are not beginning from nothing. You are beginning from everything you have survived. Think about the version of you from a year ago, or 5 years ago, or even last month. That version did not know what you know now, did not see what you see now, did not feel what you feel now. You carry lessons in your body, in your voice, in the way you pause before you speak, in the way you notice things you used to ignore. This is experience, and experience is quiet strength. There were days when you felt lost, days when you felt tired of trying, days when you wondered if things would ever make sense. But here you are, still standing, still breathing, still choosing to move forward. That alone means something inside you is strong. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You don't need to be fearless to be brave. Bravery is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to keep going even when fear is present. And you have made that decision many times already. Every time you got out of bed when you didn't want to. Every time you showed up when you felt unsure. Every time you tried again after something didn't work. These moments may seem small, but they built the person you are today. So when you step into this day, you don't walk in empty. You walk in prepared. Prepared by your past. Prepared by your mistakes. Prepared by your patience. Even the things you wish never happened taught you something about what you deserve, what you value, and what you will no longer accept. This morning, instead of telling yourself, "I have so far to go," try saying, "Look how far I've come," not in a proud way, but in an honest way, because growth is not always loud. Sometimes it looks like being calmer than you used to be, kinder than you used to be, stronger in silence than you were in noise. There will be moments today when something feels hard again, when doubt tries to return, when your mind brings up old memories or old worries. In those moments, remember this: I am not the same person who went through those things. I am the person who survived them. That means you carry more strength than you think. You don't need to rush your journey. You don't need to compare your path to someone else's path. Everyone grows in different seasons. Everyone learns in different ways. Some people learn through success. Some learn through struggle. Both are teachers, and both have shaped you. Today, you move with the quiet confidence of someone who has already been tested. You don't need to prove your strength. You don't need to announce your progress. You let your actions speak. You let your calm speak. You let your presence speak. There is a deep power in knowing that you can handle more than you once believed. Not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. And even if today brings something new, something unknown, something uncomfortable, you remind yourself, I have faced unknowns before. I have stood in uncertainty before. I have walked through hard moments before, and I am still here. So I trust myself to meet whatever comes next. Not perfectly, not without mistakes, but with honesty, with effort, with heart. As you go through this day, carry this simple thought with you: I am not starting over. I am starting from experience. Every step I take is guided by what I've learned. Every choice I make is shaped by what I've lived, and that makes me stronger than I was before. Tonight, when you look back on this day, you may not remember every detail, but you will remember one thing: you moved through it as someone who knows they have already survived hard things, and because of that, you can keep going. Take a slow breath. before anyone else speaks to you today, before the world gives you advice, opinions, or instructions, notice the first voice you hear. It is your own. That voice follows you everywhere, in the quiet moments, in the busy moments, in the moments when no one else knows what you are thinking. And over time, that voice becomes the place you live inside. So today, you choose to make it a kind place, a steady place, a strong place. Think about how you speak to someone you care about. You don't rush them when they struggle. You don't shame them when they make a mistake. You don't remind them of every time they failed. You encourage them. You guide them. You remind them of what they can still become. Now ask yourself something simple. Why would you deserve less than that from yourself? This morning, you decide to become your own support instead of your own pressure. When something feels hard today, instead of saying, "I can't," you say, "I will try." When something doesn't go as planned, instead of saying, "I always mess things up," you say, "I am learning." These small changes in words create big changes in how you feel. Your mind listens to what you repeat. If you tell it that you are weak, it will look for proof. If you tell it that you are capable, it will look for chances. So today, you give your mind better instructions. You don't pretend everything is perfect. You don't lie to yourself. You simply choose to speak in a way that helps you move forward instead of pulling you back. There will be moments today when you make a mistake, say the wrong thing, forget something, feel unsure, and in those moments, you have a choice. You can attack yourself, or you can guide yourself. Attacking yourself does not fix the problem. It only adds weight to it. Guiding yourself creates space to grow. So you say, calmly and clearly, "It's okay. Let's try again." This is how real confidence is built. Not by never falling, but by knowing how to stand back up without turning against yourself. Think about all the years you will spend with your own thoughts, all the mornings, all the nights, all the in-between moments. Your inner voice will be there for all of them. So you make it a voice that gives you strength instead of taking it away. When you look in the mirror today, don't search for what's wrong. Look for what's real. Look for the person who keeps showing up, who keeps trying, who keeps becoming. Even when it feels slow, you don't need to be your own judge. The world already has enough of those. You get to be your own ally. There is a quiet power in standing on your own side. It means when things go well, you celebrate yourself. And when things go badly, you don't abandon yourself. You stay, you listen, you learn. This changes the way you move through life. You stop being afraid of mistakes, because you know you will treat yourself kindly if you make one. You stop being afraid of trying, because you know you won't tear yourself down if it doesn't work. This is freedom. As you go through today, pay attention to the small moments. The way you speak to yourself when you're running late. The way you talk to yourself when you feel tired. The way you think about yourself when something feels uncomfortable. Each of these moments is a chance to choose a better voice. A voice that says, "I am allowed to learn. I am allowed to grow. I am allowed to take my time." You don't need to rush your life. You don't need to become everything at once. You only need to become someone who treats themselves with respect. Because when you respect yourself, your choices change, your boundaries change, your direction changes. You start choosing things that match how you speak to yourself inside. And slowly, your outside life begins to reflect your inner world. Tonight, when the day becomes quiet again, listen to the voice inside you. Let it be a voice that says, "You did your best today, and tomorrow, you will try again." That is enough. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, remember this lesson. The way you speak to yourself is not just a habit, it is the foundation of the life you are building. And today, you choose to build it with strength, patience, and care. Take a slow breath Before you think about what you need to do today, before you think about what could go wrong, before you imagine all the things that might be difficult, remember this simple truth. You are still here. That means you have already handled things you once thought you couldn't. There were moments in your life when you didn't know how you would get through the day. Moments when your mind felt tired. Moments when your heart felt heavy. Moments when everything felt uncertain. And yet, you found a way to keep going. Not because you were fearless, but because something inside you refused to give up. That part of you is still here. This morning, you don't need to promise yourself that today will be easy. You don't need to pretend that nothing will challenge you. You simply remind yourself of this. Whatever comes, I can meet it. When you walk into your day with this thought, everything changes. You don't rush as much. You don't tense up as quickly. You don't panic at the first sign of trouble. You move with steadiness because you trust yourself. Trust doesn't mean you know all the answers. It means you believe in your ability to find them. There will be moments today when something unexpected happens. A message you didn't want to read. A problem you didn't plan for. A feeling you didn't expect to feel. In those moments, instead of freezing, you pause. You take one breath, and you say, quietly, I can handle this. You don't need to solve everything at once. You don't need to fix the whole day in one moment. You only need to take the next small step. Strength is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It shows up in quiet decisions. It shows up when you choose to stay calm instead of raising your voice. When you choose to think instead of react. When you choose to breathe instead of break. These are the moments that build real confidence. As you go through today, notice how your body feels when you remind yourself that you are capable. Your shoulders relax. Your breathing slows. Your mind becomes clearer. This is what happens when you stop seeing the day as a threat and start seeing it as something you can work with. You are not walking into a battle. You are walking into a series of moments, and you can meet each one at a time. Sometimes, the hardest part of the day is not the problem itself. It is the story you tell yourself about the problem. If you tell yourself, this is too much, your body feels heavy. If you tell yourself, I can try, your body feels lighter. So today, you choose the second story. Not because it guarantees success, but because it gives you space to move. There will be moments when you don't get it right, when you say something you wish you hadn't, when you feel tired of trying, and even then, you remind yourself, I don't have to be perfect to be strong. Strength is continuing. Even when things feel messy, you allow yourself to be human. You allow yourself to learn. You allow yourself to grow at your own pace as you move through your day. Imagine carrying a simple shield with you, not a shield that blocks the world, but a shield that reminds you who you are. Someone who has survived, someone who has adapted, someone who has learned. When something difficult appears, you don't run from it. You don't stand still in fear. You stand steady, and you say, let's take this one step at a time. This way of thinking does something powerful. It turns pressure into a path. It turns fear into focus. It turns stress into something you can work with, instead of something that controls you. Tonight, when everything becomes quiet again, you will look back at your day. You may not remember every task you completed. You may not remember every conversation you had, but you will remember how you felt inside. And if you move through the day, reminding yourself that you could handle what came your way, you will feel something simple and strong. Respect for yourself, not because the day was perfect, but because you stayed present. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, remember this lesson. You don't need to know exactly how everything will turn out. You only need to trust that you can meet whatever comes next. And that trust will change the way you walk, the way you speak, and the way you move through the world. You move different when you know you can handle anything. Not rushed, not tense, not afraid, but steady, calm, and quietly strong. Take a slow breath before you think about what you still need. Before you think about what is missing, before your mind starts making a list of everything that should be better, pause. Look at what is already here. This moment, this breath, this chance to begin again. Gratitude does not mean everything in your life is perfect. It simply means you notice what is real. This morning, you choose to see what is working instead of only what is lacking. You may not have everything you want yet. You may not be where you plan to be. You may still be figuring things out, and that is okay, because even in the middle of becoming, there are things worth appreciating. The air moving through your lungs, the ground under your feet, the fact that you opened your eyes today. These are not small things. They are the beginning of everything else. When you start your day with gratitude, something quiet but powerful happens inside you. Your body relaxes, your mind slows down, your heart feels lighter. You stop moving through life like you are always behind. Instead, you move like someone who already has something to build from. Today, you don't rush past the simple moments. You notice the warmth of a drink in your hands, the sound of your footsteps, the way the light enters a room. These small things remind you that life is not only in big achievements, it is also in quiet, ordinary moments. Gratitude turns ordinary into meaningful. There will be times today when something does not go your way, a delay, a misunderstanding, a moment of frustration, and in those moments, you don't pretend it feels good. You simply remind yourself, this is one moment, not the whole day. You can still find something steady to hold on to. Maybe it is the fact that you tried. Maybe it is the fact that you learned something new. Maybe it is the fact that you kept your calm. Gratitude is not about ignoring problems. It is about not letting problems take over your entire view of your life. When you practice gratitude, your focus changes. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can I take from this? This shift gives you power, because when you see value in your experiences, even hard ones, you stop feeling like life is just happening to you. You begin to feel like you are growing through it. Today, you allow yourself to appreciate your own effort, not just the results, but the trying, the showing up, the not giving up. So many people only celebrate the finish line. You choose to respect the steps, the days you were tired, but still moved forward, the moments you wanted to quit but didn't, the times you stayed kind when it would have been easier to be cold. These things matter. Gratitude helps you see your own strength. As you go through the day, practice this simple habit. When something feels heavy, find one thing that feels steady. It can be small, the sound of your breathing, the feeling of sitting down, the fact that you made it through the morning. These small anchors keep you grounded. They remind you that you are not lost. You are here. You are living. You are moving. Gratitude also changes the way you see other people. When you appreciate instead of expect, your conversations soften. Your patience grows. Your reactions slow down. You stop needing everyone to be perfect. You allow them to be human, just like you. And this creates more peace in your day. Tonight, when everything becomes quiet again, take a moment to look back, not at everything you didn't finish, not at everything that went wrong, but at one thing that went right, one moment that made you pause, one moment that made you smile, one moment that made you feel steady. Let that moment remind you that even simple days have meaning. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, remember this lesson. You don't need more to feel grounded. You need to notice what you already have, because gratitude is not a soft habit. It is a strong one. It keeps your mind clear, your heart open, your steps steady. And when you move through life this way, you don't just move forward. You move forward with peace. Say this gently. I don't rush my growth. I respect my becoming. I allow myself to change, to outgrow, to evolve. I am not here to impress. I am here to align. And every step I take today is bringing me closer to who I'm meant to be. Repeat this with quiet power. I don't wait to be chosen. I choose myself. I don't shrink to fit. I stand to belong. My presence does not need approval to be valid. I move through this day with confidence that doesn't ask to be noticed. It simply is. Take one breath and say, I step into this day with intention, not hesitation. I move with focus. I speak with clarity. I act with purpose. I don't drift through my life. I direct it. And when this day ends, I will know I showed up as someone I respect. If you heard this today, it wasn't by accident. Some mornings don't need motivation. They need remembrance. A reminder of who you are before the world tries to rename you. Come back to this tomorrow, and the day after that, because the strongest people aren't the loudest. They're the ones who speak to themselves with power when no one else is listening.